Hello Tactician and welcome back to another Mythic Journey. Today's video was asked for by a regular viewer. This one is for you, Luis. My Jaeger, if you're a regular, you expect me to yell that, didn't you? Is stuck at Legendary Gold 1, but after playing through the mission chain, I think that's actually an advantage rather than a problem, which is a serious flaw in its design if you ask me. Anyway, here goes. Mission 1. Score 18 hits with Jaeger in one turn. This mission is extremely easily done in many Mirror Fall of Cadia stages. You just need to find one with enough Bloodletters and let Jaeger get some exercise. The first Mythic Journey mission for Jaeger is supposedly for him to score 18 hits in one turn, which could be a little tricky, but it's not. Just go to Mirror Fall of Cadia normal stage 1, put Jaeger here, support him from safe distance with Thoread so that he scores +1 hit on each of his attacks and counter attacks, which normally score 2 hits, and now they should score 3. I will play this on slow so that we can triple check. And like this, all the Bloodletters should be able to reach Jaeger and splat on him. And well, yeah, 6 times 3 should be 18, so this should get the mission done. Okay, and only one of the hits shows, so that's an opportunity wasted. If you don't have Thoread, then Jaeger needs to counter 9 enemies. And I think that should be rather possible here in Mirror Fall of Cadia stage 6 with this lovely cluster of Bloodletters. Like this, he should be in range of all of them, so let's just watch him have fun. And that would have been 20 hits, and with that the mission should be done. Mission 2. Deal 12,000 damage with Jaeger in one turn. With how not good Jaeger is for most raids, I would recommend you to do this one in the arena, but finding a victim big enough for Jaeger's single target attack may be a problem. Nevertheless, if that's how you want to roll, check out the practical for Mission 5. If that's not how you want to roll, Onslaught and supporting Jaeger with Dante and Thoread is probably your best bet, even if it's dependent on map openness and the total HP value of one wave's worth of Hormagaunts. The second Mythic Journey mission for Jaeger is supposedly for him to deal 12,000 damage in one turn. Now this would be probably doable all over the place, but I think the best way to do this mission is to hit Onslaught. Right now my Hormagaunts have almost 4000 HP, 1, 2, 3, 4, so if Jaeger kills 4 of them in one turn, which there aren't around him at the moment, that sucks, but I think it will fix itself when the fires are out and when Jaeger can get swarmed a little bit more. Never mind. But yeah, I mean, I think you get the point. If your first wave is just Hormagaunts and you can put Jaeger in front and support him with Dante and Thoread, he should have no issues clearing them out, even if he's kinda small like mine. Now, I don't have a spare ticket for this, but I'm sure you got the idea, so I'm gonna call it quits here and just move on. Mission 3. Defeat 30 enemies with Jaeger while taunted. I'm not sure whether that means while Jaeger is taunted, or while they are taunted, or even while they are taunted by Jaeger. If it's any of the latter two, then you basically just need to farm 30 campaign stages manually while using Jaeger's active. If it's the former, let's move straight to Mission 4. Defeat 6 enemies with Jaeger while Jaeger is taunted in one battle. This is the best mission of the journey in that it requires a really clever play, and the worst mission of the journey in that if you have actually built your Jaeger, you're probably fucked now. The theory behind this one is that Jaeger taunts himself onto his target when he uses his active, but he also hits his target quite hard when he does. And then the target will want to attack Jaeger back, triggering his counter to its face, with the obvious health benefits that brings. However, a reliable solution for at least relatively small Jaegers exists in the form of Elite Fall of Cadia stage 32, the Haarken stage. You may want to unequip your Jaeger's crit item for this one. The 4 Mythic Journey mission for Jaeger is supposedly for him to defeat 6 enemies while he is taunted in one battle. And that's not gonna be easy because that requires Jaeger to use his active on something which taunts the target on him and him on the target, causing him to become taunted. And then his target must survive until Jaeger has defeated 6 or well at least 5 enemies while taunted himself. Now, I found a solution in the Elite Haarken stage of Fall of Cadia, and it looks like this. First, you need to know that Haarken acts first, which is suboptimal, but we can make it work. So, bring Bellator right here, and follow up with Jaeger. The rest of the units bring into the southwest corner for now. This should cause Haarken to attack Bellator, putting him in a trench, which is exactly what we want, because now Haarken will be taking less damage. And apparently it wasn't even necessary to bring Vitruvius for suppressing Jaeger, because the Havocs do that all for you on their own. Now jump away with Bellator, use Jaeger's active on Haarken, which should deal negligible damage because of the trench, even if your Jaeger is built a bit higher than mine, and support him with Dante to buff his passive's attack. Pass turn. Haarken should survive, and now the farm begins. That's number 3, that's 4, that's 5, that's 6, that's 7. I'm not sure whether the battle fatigue counted, but it doesn't matter because the 6 Bloodletters should be reliable. So that should be Jaeger's Mythic Journey Mission 4 done. Now all that's needed is to clear the stage. Which is now done. Alright, so that's this. But I think it will not work if your Jaeger is built all the way to Diamond 3. If your Jaeger is built high enough that he reliably kills the Elite Haarken, try looking for a stage with at least 5 Bloodletters and a Chaos Terminator, or 2. You would want to prevent the Bloodletters from splitting on Jaeger, and ideally have the Terminator deep strike someplace where Jaeger can taunt him and be attacked by the Bloodletters from not adjacent to the Terminator to avoid killing him, such as in Elite Fall of Cadia 32. Okay, or another solution, which is also kinda tricksy, So we need to manipulate the enemies here a little bit. This should position a Terminator here. There, perfect. Now bring Dante away from Jaeger to adjust his damage output. Make room in this trench so that there is a trench hex adjacent to Jaeger but not adjacent to the Terminator. Hit it, and now all the Bloodletters should rush up to Jaeger, hit him, get countered, and die ideally. There. That's 5 kills, and the Terminator himself is gonna be number 6. It's just gonna take a while, apparently. There. So that's another potential way of doing this mission, depending on the size of your Jaeger. If your Jaeger is built really high, I think your best shot is Elite Fall of Cadia 37. A solution for a bigger Jaeger may exist in Elite Fall of Cadia 37, but it may require you to bring 2 squishies to take hits and to bait the enemies. So I'm gonna try and block this particular high ground, then this, and what I'm trying is to get a Terminator roughly to where Bellator is, which would put him someplace Jaeger can attack while being in range of all the Bloodletters on the following turn. There. Now watch them jump here and here to take out Morven and Tiark instead of here. I will be really pissed off. Lovely. Okay, good. That's where I needed one of the Terminators to go. Now, Jaeger taunting him should do the trick pretty much. All the Bloodletters can now reach Jaeger from high ground from these 2 hexes, so they should attack him very happily. The problem right now is that he will also get attacked by the Terminators and by the Guardsmen. So I'm gonna try and prevent at least some of that damage by sticking Dante here. Dante is here to simulate Jaeger having more damage. Well, let's see what happens. I wanted to kill this Guardsman. I could have done that with Dante, and then the Bloodletters still could reach. Yeah, I screwed up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom. Lovely. And now only the last Terminator is left standing, so I'm gonna shred his Terminator armor, and apparently Morven decided to use her act of faith. And bam, and that's 6 kills. for which Jaeger pretty much needed the Dante's buff, and as such it should be somewhat doable even with a much bigger Jaeger. But you will need to bring two relatively squishy characters so that the Terminators jump the way they did, I think. But I think this is the best I got. Mission 5. Deal 80,000 damage to taunted enemies with Jaeger. This mission sucks, because bosses can't be taunted and enemies elsewhere generally don't have enough HP to make solid progress per fight. You can tough it out in the Elite campaigns, but if you want to have some fun and potentially make staying in the Chapter Master League a little easier for me, I recommend hitting the arena. The final Jaeger's Mythic Journey mission is supposedly for him to deal 80,000 damage to taunted enemies over any number of battles, and I think this one should be doable here in the arena, because Jaeger's attack after the taunt should be considered a normal attack, and as such is buffable by a really great number of various effects. So normal attack, let's say on Karn, sweet, 700 damage. So if we do this, it rises to 2000. If we bring Dante somewhere in, I just need to figure out where would make the most sense. Oh, that's awkward, because I think I'd like to bring Karn here. Okay, I got it. Here. Now we're at 3.8k. If I bring Eldrion in, we're at 7k, and with the taunt that should be a few hundred more too, possibly with crits from Ragnar's Yif, so wish me luck. Rest in pieces, Karn. That never gets old. Okay, so let's win the arena. Booyah. There. Okay, I think Jaeger is gonna die, but that's hardly a problem now. Oh, and he very almost brought Ragnar down with him. Okay. Well, and a few arenas like this, and your final Mythic Journey mission for Jaeger should be done. Well, and that's how I'd go about Jaeger's Mythic Journey if mine were actually on it. But I'm kinda glad I looked into it ahead of time, because now I sure as fuck Snowprint Sideways won't be upgrading my Jaeger further in anticipation of Mission 4. And with that, you've made it through the whole video. I hoped it helped you, or at least entertained you. And I'm also hungry, and there's a pot of zelniachka, or sauerkraut soup, waiting for me in the fridge, so it's high time for a Kaurin out.